We've been talking together about the multi-layered approach to conflict. We talked about the structural frame and how it endangers roles and responsibilities. We've talked about the relational frame and how conflict endangers relationships. And we've talked about how those can be in tension with each other. We need to work on that. But then there's a third frame that Bowman and Deal talk about. They talk about the symbolic frame or the cultural frame. And what's important there are values and beliefs and the things that out of which culture is created, the stories that we tell, the purposes for which we live. All of those live in the relational, or excuse me, in the cultural or the symbolic frame. And these are particularly important because what often happens is that we'll be having an argument about something that is we believe or about values, but we don't want to say that. So it manifests itself as a structural argument or a relational argument. So the third thing that we have to surface, besides the structural and the relational, is to say when we think values are at stake. And one of the values that I hold is that I will value you. So I have to say in the moment, I will make sure that whatever we do in this conflict, that I treat you with respect, because respect is a value I hold dear. But let's say we're talking about beliefs. Let's say it turns out that you believe A and I believe not A. Is there a respectful way to have that conflict? Sure. There are certain things that Christians believe that are non-negotiable. Jesus is Lord. Beyond those things, there's a lot of ways in which good Christians in lots of different times and places have disagreed with each other. Indeed, much of the conversation over the last 2,000 years of Christianity has been about what does it mean to say Jesus is Lord. We might all agree Jesus is Lord, but we don't agree what that means. And so what we have to find a way is to treat each other with respect. And so one of the things that happens for me when I'm engaged in a conflict that's about beliefs or values or something that people hold really dear is one of the things I say out loud is that I don't always know exactly what I believe, but I'll tell you what I do believe. And so you and I may be having a dispute, and I'm like, I'm not sure if you're right or wrong, but we can talk about the parameters. Parameters are whatever it is, we know that I believe Jesus is Lord. I believe God is love. I believe I will treat you with respect. I believe that we learn in community. So what I'm doing is I'm building almost like a cube, or I don't know where the answer resides, but it's somewhere within these things. And by making those discussable, we can talk about, well, okay, what is the implications of God is love? Does that mean this, or does that mean this for the argument? And you're surfacing the beliefs that impinge on the argument, but they actually don't restrict the argument. What they do is they give us a language for talking together. So I end up having to talk about the roles and responsibilities, I end up having to talk about the relationships, and I end up having to talk about the beliefs. That's how you do multi-layered leadership.